Hey YouTube, I just wanted to put together a quick video about open-mindedness and trying new things. Just by being a silver investor, you basically are showing a level of open-mindedness by investing in an alternative investment like silver. For those of you who are on the fence and aren't sure, I mean, my recommendation would be a simple, go down to your local coin shop after you get out of work, buy a Walking Liberty half or buy a Franklin half, nothing major, just a $10 to $12, $13 investment, and just see if it grabs you. Come home, do the ring test. Yeah, it's just Grandpa's pocket change, but see if it grabs you. It's funny, I've talked about it before, but I want this YouTube channel to be, for me at least, a little bit more than just a silver channel. I want to improve myself in other ways. I've told you before, but by getting out of debt, by building up a little bit of real wealth, it really has kickstarted me in a lot of ways that I want to improve myself in other ways of my life, and maybe take some of what I learned through this process and apply it to other parts of my life. And one of those things is trying new things. I've always been one of those people that if I went to the restaurant, I always went to the same restaurant. I always got the same thing. And because I didn't go to restaurants very often, and I didn't want to be disappointed by buying something I didn't like. But I'm really limiting myself. I'd always, if I went to Chili's, I'd always get the same thing over and over and over. My wife is the same way. I mean, it's almost ridiculous. We could just sit down and kind of just say the usual. And, for a lot of people, that's fine. But what I'm finding is my kids are kind of seeing this. And my son is funny. He's very measured. He'll assess a situation, and he'll kind of say to himself, am I going to be really good at this? If not, I'm not going to try it. So the story that I tell him, and I understand, guys, this is just little kid stuff, child psychology stuff. But what I do is I say, look, I said, the thing is, you remember that guy? He was the greatest baseball player that ever lived. Remember, he led the Chicago Cubs to the World Series. The city of Chicago adored him. He hit monstrous home runs, and he was just a local hero in all of Illinois, and he helped break the jinx. And then I tell him, well, that guy, we don't know who he is because he actually never picked up a baseball bat. Somewhere out there is the greatest baseball player who never lived because he never actually picked up a baseball bat. So he never knew. It's funny. I see my wife likes to watch some of these bakery competitions on the I can't remember what the cooking channel is. Ridiculous. The Food Network. Thank you. And I'm always amazed at how these people are basically they're basically artistic geniuses, but their canvas is a cupcake or a sheet cake. And I'm always mystified at how these people who are basically artists are able to kind of find their craft in cakes. And I can only assume that they were, when they were little kids, they were good at drawing and everything else. And, artists in the true sense of the word. And then they tried something else, and they were able to apply their artistic genius to something else. And this is the result. How do you know if you're going to love something unless you actually go give it a shot? If you watch enough YouTube silver videos, you can hear the enthusiasm in people's voices. They really get captivated by it, and it is a fantastic way to save money. I'm telling you, it has really changed my approach in a lot of ways. And it almost sounds silly, and I get it. There'll be some criticism on my channel for saying stuff like this. You're just buying a silly little medal. But it's just more than that. It's financial control. It's being able to see my wealth build in front of my eyes in physical form. It's a really good feeling for me. And like I said, I'm looking for ways to improve my life in other ways. Improve my relationships. Be a better father, be a better son, be a better husband, be a better friend. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking for. And did getting financial control of my life kind of kickstart this? It did. It did, because I was overwhelmed with a lot of things, and financial pressures being a huge one of them. And now that that's basically lifted, it really clears my mind and allows me to focus on other things. And I mean, I don't want to throw a bunch of cliches at you guys. This is just the way I feel about it. You know, and I'm hoping that I can raise my children to be open-minded and willing to experience new things. My wife is a tough one. She's definitely a creature of habit. So just to give you a quick update, guys, obviously I'm behind on the spreadsheet update. I'm hoping to get it done this Friday or Saturday. Basically what happened is when I got back from vacation, I got thrown right back into the meat of my work schedule. And just to kind of give you an idea of what my day looks like, I work 12-hour days, and it actually ends up being more like 13. I have a leadership position, so I have to go into work early. So I basically hit the floor at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I don't get home until a little past 8 o'clock at night. So, you know, there will be times where I fall behind on answering PMs and everything, and just have a little bit of patience, guys. I really get a lot of them, and I don't want to just, you know, I don't want to just say thank you and then hit reply and that's it. You know, I try to put a little bit behind it. And then what ends up happening is sometimes a couple of PMs get buried, you know, from doing that, and I just fall behind and I never actually see it because, you know, my email box, it fills up pretty quickly, and it's not a personal thing, believe me, that's not it at all. It's just me falling behind sometimes. And also understand that in Vermont, the winter is long and it's harsh, and you literally kind of just hole up for the winter. It's always been that way. I'm not a skier or snowmobiler. I do hike in the winter, but I spend a lot more time indoors. So I was certainly spending a lot more time on my channel in the winter, whereas, you know, now that it's spring, look, spring and summer in Vermont are short. And, you know, I try to make the most of it. So I'll be spending some more time outside. So believe me, it's nothing personal if I don't get back to you on a PM. It's just basically me falling behind, and then it may get buried. But, all right, so I actually got a little criticism on my last video because it was 14 minutes long, which, I mean, I think most sitcoms are like 20 minutes long. So I was almost as long as an episode of Cheers, I guess. So I guess I'll cut this one short here. But yeah, guys, you know, try new things. You never know what you're going to be great at unless you give it a shot. You know, oh, one more point I wanted to make. So the other thing that has really taught me this is a year ago, I never even considered making silver videos. Never even thought about it. Didn't have a video camera. And it was almost a lucky thing where, you know, my son, we watched a couple of silver videos, and he said, you know, if we ever get a camera, can we make a silver video? I said, sure. You know, it was one of those things where, sure, we're not going to get a camera, so why not agree to it? And then coincidentally, shortly after that, my wife had said, you know, we probably should get a new camera. So here we are. You know, we got a camera. We started making silver videos, and then it kind of snowballed from there. But it never would have occurred to me to do this. You know, I've always been a little bit introverted. So actually, like, putting myself out there like this on the internet just never, ever occurred to me. And yet here we are, you know, almost a year later. So, yeah, try new things. You never know what you'll be good at.